It was nearly 1 in the morning when Vanessa Lee, the founder of a booming wellness brand, stood barefoot in the hallway of her upscale Brooklyn apartment building. Her arms cradled a small paper bag with cold takeout noodles, the only thing she had managed to grab before the door slammed shut behind her. No phone, no keys, no shoes, no way back inside. She leaned against the wall, the silk sleeves of her dress damp with sweat from the summer heat, her head tilted back, eyes closing for just a moment. It had been the longest day of the year. She had let go of a close colleague, made decisions that would ripple across the company, and now here she was, stranded in a hallway with leftover food and no sense of control. As she sank to the floor, her back pressed against the cool wall, she heard the sound of soft wheels rolling, then a lullaby, a gentle off-key hum. When she looked up, a man was pushing a stroller down the corridor, a small blanket trailing off the edge. He paused when he saw her, his expression flickering between concern and curiosity. Everything about him was worn but warm. His sneakers were frayed, his hoodie faded, his eyes kind. "You all right?" he asked, keeping his voice low so as not to wake the little girl in the stroller. Vanessa let out a dry laugh. Locked out. No phone, just these noodles and whatever remains of my pride. He smiled, crouching slightly to fix the blanket on the girl's shoulder. Pride is a heavy thing to carry. Sometimes it is better to leave it behind, like shoes on a hot day. She laughed again, this time a little softer. "You want some noodles?" she offered. He paused, then sat down a few feet away, the stroller between them. "I am Marcus. That is my daughter, Lila. She has trouble sleeping, so we take little walks when the dreams get too loud." Vanessa leaned over slightly and waved at the girl. Lila stirred, then went still again, her fingers clinging to a small stuffed fox. "Do you live in the building?" Vanessa asked. "Yes, 6th floor. Moved in about 4 months ago. It is not easy finding a place when you work gigs and raise a little one alone." She nodded, absorbing his words. "What kind of work do you do?" "Anything I can. Fixing things mostly. Plumbing, light fixtures, repairs. My hands know what to do, even when my life feels like it doesn't." There was something honest in his voice that made her heart ache a little. Vanessa had spent the past 5 years surrounded by polished professionals and cold boardrooms. This man, sitting barefoot with her in a quiet hallway, had more calm in him than most CEOs she had met. Marcus stood and glanced at her door. "Mind if I try something? I used to help with maintenance, picked up a few tricks." From the stroller he pulled a metal wire and began to fiddle with the lock. Vanessa watched with amused disbelief as within moments the latch clicked open. The door creaked, revealing her untouched apartment inside. "You actually did it!" He stepped back with a small grin. "Old skills, they stick with you." She stood slowly, brushing dust from her dress, suddenly unsure of how to thank him. "Wait," she said as he turned to go. "I would like to buy you breakfast tomorrow, you and Lila both." Marcus looked at her, surprised but not uncomfortable. "We like pancakes, and she insists on bringing her crayons." "Then it is settled," Vanessa said. The next morning they met at a small cafe around the corner. Vanessa wore sneakers and a sweatshirt. Marcus looked freshly shaved. Lila scribbled suns and animals across napkins while they drank coffee and talked about everything except work. Halfway through the meal, Marcus asked, "So, what do you do when you are not getting locked out?" Vanessa hesitated, then smiled. "I started a company a while back, wellness and nutrition products. I guess it grew bigger than I expected." He blinked. "Wait, are you Vanessa Lee from the commercials?" She gave a quiet nod. "Well," he said, sipping his coffee, "even the famous need a little help sometimes." 3 months later, Marcus was managing a new community initiative funded by Vanessa's company, offering skill training and job placement for single parents. It was his idea, born during one of their morning coffees. He never asked for handouts. She never treated him like a charity case. What grew between them was built on cold noodles, hallway talks, and shared late-night worries. And every now and then, when Leela wanted to hear a bedtime story, Vanessa would tell her about the night she locked herself out and let someone kind in. Moral? Sometimes the things that leave us stranded open a door we never expected. And sometimes the people we meet by accident are exactly the ones we needed all along.